What is up, everybody? If you like Italian food, vegan style food, yummy, delicious Italian wines, you're going to love tonight's guest. We're going to learn all about their restaurant in Tianmu right after this. All right, we're back. Thank you for coming.
Grazie per averci.
Yeah, I'm so sorry to hear your husband who wasn't able to make it. I wish him well. I hope he's okay.
It's gonna be fine soon. No
Good,
problem.
good.
Thank you for having us.
My pleasure. I've been wanting to do for a while, but sometimes you just get backtracked and you know, funny thing is sometimes I will schedule all the podcasts 1 or 2 months in advance, and then I forget it's Tuesday and people are like, "Hey, we're coming in 2 hours." I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's today." And I'm like, quickly get the camera, right? Because it's a crazy business.
Yeah, it's a lovely business, but
Yeah.
We are not the one who decide. I mean,
Yeah,
we are
exactly.
on when the door, people come from the door.
Exactly. Oh, spot one.
So yeah.
Beautiful. So maybe you can introduce yourself before we start.
Okay, introducing myself is gonna take a while
Perfect.
as I'm Italian.
I love it. That's great. That's great.
A
Yeah.
long talk. My name is Sonia, and I've been here like 10 years, but I've
Okay.
been over Asia like 16 years.
Okay.
Funny story, I came here for my PhD in Chinese anthropology.
Really?
Yeah.
So
and
from Italy to Taiwan.
to Kunming University, south of Tibet, Yunnan, in China.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
And
Okay.
I love my studies, but one of my teacher was in charge of chemistry for Louis Vuitton Group. And so after my PhD, I became a wine buyer for Louis Vuitton Group, ended up in Shanghai. Nothing to
Oh.
do with my studies, but I love it.
That's funny. I think it's a common thing that, you know, people go to school and they study one thing and then it seems they actually do something completely different, right?
Yeah, I love
That's
what.
funny.
Oh, this is
Thank you.
beautiful.
Thank you.
What
Oh
do we
yeah.
have?
So we got cauliflower wings here, and this is just a selection of kind of mild ones. Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, it'll be nice. So we're going to start with the buffalo, and then we've got a couple. We've got, I believe it's pineapple, the mango, we've got a chipotle, and then we've got a cayenne.
Oh,
So they're all
that's
kind of like the mellowish ones, yeah? Because, yeah.
Yeah, I was
Take it
very
easy.
happy to hear that you have cauliflower
Of course. Yeah.
We've been talking a while about having a healthy, happy option of food
Sure.
around.
Yeah, you know, the cauliflower, the funny thing is I started it because in the show there was vegan guests that I wanted to have. So obviously, they're not going to eat chicken, right? So I said, let's do the cauliflower wings. And then I started making them vegetarian, and then we started making them full vegan. And when we did that, a lot of people would come in on a Wednesday, and they would be like, what is that, cauliflower? Because everything's half price. Wednesday would be half price chicken and cauliflower, right? If you dine in. So I thought, let's try that. And now, I'd say it's been at least a year, I think we've had these. I think this one outsells the chicken.
Oh, really?
Pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what we are trying to do
Yes, please.
every day. Like we are trying more to give, as I said, happy, healthy option,
Yeah.
which is mean like, you know, everybody's looking for the real thing, and I guess like after
Closer, yeah?
3 years of COVID, what it happened that we all miss so much home.
Yes, you know, so you guys opened kind of during or right before
During
COVID.
level
so that's
3.
yeah, during the level 3. That was kind of a crazy. Maybe tell me a little bit about that before we.
It was
did
crazy
it.
because, of course, we have no idea we were doing so well in Taiwan. So we rented out the place in last February, and then we started to do all the decoration by ourselves. Claudio, my husband, literally built the place.
Yeah, I know. I walked by all the time, and I was like, "Wow, this is really cool. What's going on here?" Yeah.
Exactly, and I've been doing like all the table, collecting all the corks through
The
all
corks,
my
right?
career,
They're
and I
beautiful,
cut it
yeah.
and I glue it, and we create those tables.
I love it.
And even all the porcelain, they are all original from the 1800 and the 1700, collecting
Amazing.
from different part of the family. But
Don't
our
you get
family-
worried that they're gonna get broken?
Oh
I'd be
no,
like, "Oh no."
our family break plenty of
Okay,
them. you
okay,
know?
cool,
So
okay.
what I'm having right now are the leftover from the family wedding set. So
Okay.
it's maybe 5 pieces, 4 pieces.
Okay.
Of what
Oh,
originally
okay.
is supposed to be like 60 or 70 pieces, you know?
Okay, beautiful. How we doing on audio, man? Good. All right, perfect. Thank you. So let's get this first one in, and we'll dive in. Yeah. So this is
Absolutely.
buffalo, right? The first one is the buffalo, the
Let's go
classic
for the
buffalo.
buffalo.
So the funny thing with the buffalo is, we originally So the original recipe for buffalo is butter and Frank's hot sauce, right? And so we started using that for a while, and big seller. The Frank's hot sauce is a little bit salty. It's not the best, but it's the way to make buffalo. And so with all the import, crackdown and stuff like that, they stopped importing. So buffalo was one of our better sellers. So we created our own buffalo with like local cayenne peppers and stuff. So we make our own. So this is kind of what I came up with, when there was no Frank's. And I think it's better. It should be better because it's fresh garlic and fresh, cayenne peppers. And so it's pretty good. I think it's pretty good. So we'll start from this side. You take one or the other. And do you want a fork or are you okay with hands?
I'm Italian. I'm
Perfect.
okay with the hands.
Okay, well, me too. I just wanted to make sure. Yeah. All right. Yes. Yeah. So it shouldn't be too spicy, right? I think it's okay. All right, good. Yeah, the vegan wings basically. Obviously they're not wings, but we call them that. People come on a Wings Wednesday because a lot of people would, have a vegan friend or something, and they want to come in and they want to have a chicken wing night. But the vegans will be like, well, I'm not going to go because there's no option for me. So with this, it's been pretty cool. It's been pretty cool.
Yeah, you strike a point that is very important to me. How we make it accessible to our customer to know that we offer plenty of different options rather just of the label, because of course we have to be catchy, right? Like you are the Mexican place, I'm the Italian lady, but of course we do plenty of things. But so how do we get there? Because I see a lot of people when they come to my place and they say, oh, Sonia, I didn't know you do this. Or I didn't know that, for example, when we try to do, and we keep doing very well, the gluten-free chocolate cake, the gluten-free and sugar-free, that everybody was looking at us like, hey, come on, man, what is this, a chocolate, gluten and sugar-free, what is inside? But and it ended up that everybody enjoyed it. And it was not anymore the diet
Picture number
food.
10, I think it's the cake, yeah.
The diet food or the pity food, but it was like, hey man, this cake tastes good.
The next one, number 9 then? Try number 9. Boom.
There it is.
That's it,
yes,
right?
That's my chocolate cake.
Yes.
And it's fun.
So good. And it's crazy when you meet people like yourself. It's almost like magic, to make a chocolate cake with like gluten-free and
sugar-free.
No sugar.
Yeah.
And it still tastes good. It's amazing because we had it and it's really nice and it's moist and it's great. It's so good. So what can inspire you? What gives you the idea to do something like that?
Well, actually, as I told you, I'm an anthropologist. So basically, I create nothing new. I just like to mess it up with my knowledge that I have.
Okay.
This is a traditional cake that is from Ferrara, which is northeast of Italy.
Oh, shoot.
And it was created in the 1800s, and it's the cake of the city. It's called tenerina, which means tender.
Okay.
So
It's very tender.
I was reading the story and I got fascinated that when the Duke of Ferrara have to marry the one Austrian princess, he has to make a wedding chocolate cake. And in Italy, we didn't have any pastry with chocolate.
Okay.
It was not a thing. So they came up with this cake and I slightly changed the recipe. Just adapting, rather using regular flour to use almond flour, which goes very well with chocolate. Everybody loves chocolate and
almonds. Yeah,
it's marriage made in heaven.
Okay.
And also I had a very good help from the Belgium supplier because I'm using a 75% Belgium chocolate, which is beautiful, but it's sweet enough that you don't need any added sugar. So basically, that funny cake is just made with egg, butter, 75% Belgium chocolate and almond flour.
Really?
That's it.
Wow. Okay. So you think 75% is kind of like the sweet spot? Because I know when you go like 80, 90, 95, the dark chocolate starts to get like bitter. And I love chocolate. But when it's like 99, I'll still eat it because you're like, well, it's a little bit bitter, but it's healthy. But I think 75 is a sweet spot. What do you think?
It's a sweet spot, especially because we also use almond flour, which is sweet enough.
Okay.
We use butter out of cream from New Zealand, which also make it creamier.
Good stuff. Okay.
And also we serve with a cannelle of cream. From the same producer. So overall, it's a kind of sweet flavor.
Beautiful. Yeah, I've had it. It's very good. Yeah. It's so crazy how it can be made out of it could be gluten free and it could be sugar free. That's just it's a beautiful thing. I love it.
Because that's one thing, right? Like people are very, very anxious about like not enjoying the desserts just because it's all full of sugar, and that stops them. But something like this is like, no, you can actually go crazy in terms of having the desserts.
Yeah, you do.
It's great. Yeah.
And also, I always say the funny story that women always have two stomachs. One is for soury and one is for dessert. So we
Yes.
always, when we look at the menu, we see the set menu and say, man, I'm not going to make it. Then what is for dessert?
Yeah, not only women. I'm not gonna lie. I love my desserts too. Yeah, it's funny because you can be so full, and then you see a dessert coming, like, "Ooh, that looks good. I think I'll get one of those."
Yeah,
For me, I do it all the
I
time.
remember you with the tiramisu when you came.
Oh yeah, just I try not to. I actually in Taiwan I stopped eating desserts for a long time because it's hard to find a good one. Now it's like, okay, we can start to eat desserts again. And a lot of desserts I find getting a little bit older, right? So when they're really sugary, I feel like crap. I feel like my whole body just feels like, oh, that's got to be the age, I guess. But yeah, I mean, as a kid, obviously, you can eat like milk chocolate all day. That's like 90% sugar probably, and just be like, no problem. But yeah, when you get older, you want to have a nicer one. So it's good. And I love a chocolate cake. Yeah, love chocolate cake. Beautiful.
That's good.
Beautiful. Thank you. Cheers. We have wine, right? Just a basic kind of red wine. So I'm not a big wine guy. Cheers, man.
Cheers. Cheers.
Salute.
Salute. All right.
That's very close to Spanish, no? Salud.
Yeah, that's how I remember it. Salud.
Yeah.
And salute. Right?
Salute in Italian. And basically it's just a wish. It's like I wish you are going to be in a good health.
Okay.
Oh, really?
And it's a nice way of express a toast that has its origin in the Middle Age history.
Oh.
Because in the history in Europe, all the kings, they were poisoning here and there.
Okay.
Right.
That
Sure.
it was that amount of period, around 200 years, between the 1200 and 1400, where the reason number one for king to die was by poisoning.
Really?
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So the toast, it was to mean a good health. It was in a way to say, I hope the wine is not poisoning.
And you don't
So
die.
that's how it came.
I hope you
Salute,
don't
and
die.
we
Well,
still have it. I hope you didn't poison
Well,
us.
salute.
Salute.
I hope you don't die. Yeah. All right. So let's start a little bit from the beginning.
Yes, please.
You came to Taiwan, right? For your PhD, you said, right?
Well, I was in China
you were
for my...
Sorry, in Taiwan for the China.
For my PhD.
Okay.
And then when I took the job after being a buyer for LB, I was
Okay.
representing a winery called Masi.
Okay,
and
from
it was-
Italy? Okay.
From Italy, and I was in charge of Greater China. So I used
Okay.
to come to Taiwan like 4 or 5 times a year.
Okay.
And it was still the time you remember when we switched flight to Hong Kong from mainland.
I remember that. Yeah, of course.
So I'd always been very amazed about
Yeah.
Taiwan, but I was on traveling agenda,
Okay.
and it was like the flight here were not the best solution.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I love the place, but... And then several years after, the Michelin guide asked me to arrange 3 Michelin chefs around Taiwan.
Okay.
And that time, my husband was my fiancé, and I say, how
Sure.
about we do a fancy trip into all those gorgeous hotels paid by the Michelin, and you see a
Beautiful.
little around Taiwan. 6 months after, we were here, settling.
Okay.
And we never left the country.
So you came here, settled here. What do you like about what made you guys decide, oh my gosh, this is the place, let's settle here?
Well, when I was younger, like in my university time, I studying in Italy, reading all about Chinese literature
Okay.
and Chinese culture.
Interesting.
I was expecting to find that in China.
In China, yeah.
And somehow I managed to find it because it was the China pre-internet. It was the China.
Okay.
It is still, to do the phone calls with several amounts of minutes at the time. So it was a different China. Life was very slow.
Okay.
But still something was lacking. I remember entering to the Forbidden City and asking why it's empty.
Yeah.
It looked like Disneyland,
Yeah.
And then and then they told me when I came to Taiwan that like 70% of the art in the Forbidden City are here in the museum. And was like, why is simplified Chinese in China, but
Yeah.
is like traditional Chinese over here? So through my traveling, I find what I expect supposed to be in the mainland, I find it here.
Found it here, yeah.
And then when the internet came up and the big China boom came up, I felt like it was a Polish culture. It was like no memory from the past, and it was very, very break while fractured.
The Cultural Revolution, right?
Yes.
They kind of wanted to erase all of that.
Exactly, the
And
one-child policy.
Yeah, and I guess some people, I think it was Shanghai. I don't know the history, obviously. I think it was the Shanghai Shek Party. They brought a bunch of stuff here, and now it's in the Gugong, what is it, Palace Museum.
The Palace Museum.
So yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm not a history guy, but that's what I've heard.
Well, I heard a rumor that he also bring the most 100 beautiful women from China here
Oh,
into
really?
Taiwan. I don't know if it's true or not.
That makes sense. Okay, that makes sense. I like it. Okay.
So, and then when we came back, of course, I was not in my study. I know Asia pretty well. I was taking care of 13 countries around Asia. And I always was amazed about how Taiwan was managing to be in the loop while still being very conservatory.
Yeah.
Still very honest and true to themselves.
Okay.
I mean, I'm Italian, and you can tell from my accent, and Italians are not very open-minded people. I mean,
Okay.
basically what we do, we create a little Italy around the world. And then we are thinking,
Italians are not the only ones that do that. There's a lot of cultures that do that for sure. Yeah.
so
Okay.
basically we just go and do what we know.
Okay.
Funny story, I was in my trip in Kathmandu
Okay.
like 20 years ago. It was
Okay.
honestly nothing there, just people praying, temple.
Okay.
But it was a Napolitan guy opened a pizzeria.
Okay. That's
And I was
amazing.
like, man, what are you doing? I mean, there is nothing. How you can get your supply? And I was like, I'm a Napolitan. I open a pizzeria. What should I do? So for him, it was
I love
crystal
it.
clear. And I was like, okay.
So that's what we do. We open pizzerias.
We
Okay.
open pizzerias.
Okay. Beautiful. Beautiful.
And being in the F&B industry for 17 years now,
Yeah.
I recollect that we are telling our story with our food.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. Yeah.
And
yeah.
more we are far from home and more we became nostalgic.
Sure. You start to miss it. You want to share your culture. You want to share a little bit about where you're from to people, right? People can come and try your stuff, and because Italian food is actually very, very popular, very famous, right? There's lots of Italian places here.
Very good one.
There's some very good ones. There's a lot of local ones where they taste very different, right? Like the pasta. Taiwanese they love noodles. Obviously, noodles are huge in Asia. So the Idali mian, the Italian noodles, are also popular. I'm guessing, right? So, but yeah, I've had a lot of amazing Italian, and I've had a couple of local style Italian that, yeah, it's a bit different for sure.
Yeah, you know, we were talking before about the wine experience, and it's like, what kind of person are you? Do you not? You must have a massive knowledge about wine in order to enjoy the wine.
Yeah.
Or you are more like a kind of, I know what I like, no matter what.
Yeah.
And I was describing in this way, like wine is like a perfume. Like there are people that just love that scent, and they feel confident with that scent no matter what, and they go for it. And there are other people that they like to have like a dress code.
Okay.
Like, you know, what is paired better with. So I'm not too harsh on the Italian local food
Okay.
because I understand that we try to make things for our own palate.
Okay.
I mean, I've been eating Chinese food in Italy and I haven't found a single dish in China or here.
Yeah. Very different.
But
It's like American Chinese food.
Yeah.
It's very different than
But
here.
what is
yeah.
extremely enjoyable.
Yeah, sure, of
And
course.
it became part of our culture? Yes, it did.
Yeah, of course.
So
yeah.
I'm always aware, like, I like those, and I don't like, the only assumption to call it fusion rather than local flavor is when it comes in terms of price and service. But in reality, we are all trying to experimenting something that is very different. You said with this cauliflower, like, now you're making your recipe on your own. So, of course, your cayenne pepper here is different from the
very
cayenne pepper
different.
that you
Yeah,
used to have.
of course.
Right?
You know, and we get like, for example, people will ask us for because we have a green salsa, right? And they ask us, you know, where do you get your tomatillos? And I'm like, there are no tomatillos here. We use like local green tomatoes, but they have to be like underripe, like so that they're really green and sour, so that they're not exactly like a tomatillo, but they're a little bit close. And then we just use that because when they get ripe, they get kind of orange, and then the flavor's a bit different. So we just do what we can do, you know. It's
And that's
tough.
the beauty of it. I mean, time and culture did not stop when we decided, this is the recipe, this is the perfection. It
Yeah.
always developed. And you were saying about like, oh, I'm not eating as much sweet as I did
Yeah.
when I was young.
Yeah.
In reality, when we were younger, we were eating far less sugar than the younger generation they're having, just
Yeah.
because the younger generation, they have the hidden sugar everywhere.
Yeah.
We
true.
used to have homemade food,
Yeah, of course, always.
and it was not a plus. It was like it was our part of our culture.
It's normal. Yeah.
Now most our kids, they have food to go because the society do not let us to have enough time
Yeah.
to be at the age of everything.
It's tough being here because with the culture here and school, there's a lot of school and there's a lot of homework. And my daughter's 10; she's in grade 4, and so her school is supposed to be like 7:30 to 4, and then 2 hours of homework. It's a lot. It's a lot for a kid. So, she's I let her sleep in, and then she goes late. I mean, that's not great, but she's a kid. She needs to sleep. She needs to have her breakfast. Like I'll make some breakfast for her, and then we go. Sometimes she misses a bit of the first class, but then she's got to do the homework. It's a lot for a kid. There are other options, obviously. Some of the international schools are great, but I think that for the beginning, Chinese is hard, right? Like it's such a difficult language. I've been here for 20 years. I can speak reasonably well, I think, but I still reading and writing is almost zero, right? And you have to sit there and practice it, which is it's tough for me because
it's tough for everybody.
I just have no time. Like kids do it, like that's their homework. They got a book and they write the character 100 times. I can't do that. I could, but then I have to cut something else out, either the family time or something with the restaurant or the podcast or some of the other stuff I do on the side, which I don't want to do because I enjoy that. You're an adult and you make decisions.
And you already speak good enough.
It's okay. It's not bad. So you choose to be illiterate.
Well,
It's a little bit like
that
that.
too.
Yeah,
But
it's
Taiwanese,
tough.
they're super nice. Whenever I go to the bank or I have something written, they say, "Can you please read it for me?" And then I know what it's about.
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, beautiful. Very nice. So you guys now have been 1 year?
almost
Over 1 year?
a year.
Okay,
Almost a year.
okay.
We opened July.
You said you opened during the level 3?
Level 3 pandemic,
Okay.
July, and then we all see how business was going. So
Okay.
of course we changed the concept.
Okay, of course. Yeah.
We became all try to do a little bit more of takeaway.
Okay.
But you know what we have in common, and that we really want to open a place for the community and
Yes,
to
I
be
love it. Yeah.
something that it's very Italian and somehow
Yeah.
very Tianmu style. That it was like we are a place for people that live here.
Yes.
I mean, I love to have my regular. I have some people that comes for doing grocery weekly. They
it's
come
great.
every time. They come for the coffee. They come for the chat.
Oh, the coffee's great. Yeah.
They come for playing, or they come for having their own events.
Yeah.
So for us, the whole concept of Gioia, and that's the why we choose the name.
Yes, that's a question. What does Gioia mean? Yeah.
So Gioia has two meanings. One, it could be a person name,
Okay.
and it happened to be my latest niece, my youngest one.
Oh,
She's
okay.
called Gioia.
Beautiful. Okay.
And because I have, as every Italian, plenty of nephews and nieces, I just choose for the youngest, so the other could not feel upset.
Okay.
But also has
Gioia.
the meaning of happiness. And we thought that it was exactly the concept that we want to bring it.
Okay.
And because for us, when it comes to the F&B experience, it's not only to the food and the wine or the coffee that you're having, but it's about the vibe that you're getting. And I think that's something that everybody, including Italian, associate to the Italian culture is the family culture,
Okay.
the neighbor culture, the place to be there. The
Yeah.
place that, hey, you can light up a candle and you are the typical Italian restaurant that becomes romantic.
Yeah.
Or you can just be casual and oh, Sonia, I'm hungry today. What is
What
for
do you got?
the food?
Yeah.
What do you got me
Okay.
up?
Okay.
And also it was COVID time, and we were like, you know what? We need some happiness around.
Sure.
And we have,
the scary time. Yeah.
yeah, but also we have to get a reminder how fortunate we are.
Yes.
Because we
Agree.
give for granted a lot of things. And
Yes, for sure.
And I love the fact that Americans, they say to pursue happiness. So
Yes.
it's something that you must do in your life. While I come from a very traditional Catholic family.
Same. Okay.
Happiness was always considered a luxury.
Okay, okay, I can understand that.
So
Yeah.
there were a lot of rules that you have to fill with your family, with your role, with your work, with your scope in life.
Okay.
And you can be very diligent on doing things,
Okay. Yep.
but not necessarily to be happy about things. And
Just do it because you have to do it.
exactly, and
Okay.
do it well because that's the way they're supposed to be done.
Yeah.
So that's something that I learned from my American friends. Believe me or not, probably because I'm close to the TAS.
Yeah.
Like 70% of my customer, they are all teacher,
Yeah. Agreed.
and I never been to the States.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's funny because it's like they're teaching me a lot of things, and I'm like, really? And I didn't know. So the old, again, we go back from distance and not distance about when you have the will to share something.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's what the message that we want to pass through Gioia, because there's a lot of people, they are asking us, are you a restaurant? Are you a gourmet shop? Are you a private event place? What are you?
Yeah.
And I say, we are Italian and we are a place to share,
Okay. That's great. I like that. Yeah.
which it's not very Uber. It's very
Okay.
hard to put it on Uber.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course. Of course.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
that's the old school. I mean, we try to do, and thanks to you in this way, and to a lot of people, like the word of mouth. You just
Yeah, of
come, you
course.
feel the vibe, you see
Yeah.
us.
And the food is nice. The vibe is nice. Chatting with you, chatting with your husband. It was one of the reasons I wanted to get you guys to come here, so people can see you're chatting. It's nice. It's a great experience. I know you guys have been doing lots of events lately,
We did.
right?
We did.
So maybe we
Sonia,
can
your
tell.
mic a bit closer.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay. I can do
That
it.
would be
Thanks.
perfect.
Thank you so
Sorry.
much.
I can take care of that. So maybe we
Good.
can talk about event. Maybe we can grab the next one. Yeah,
Please.
yeah. You don't need to finish. It's all
Thank
good. It's all
you.
good. Yeah.
You
So
know,
this one will
summer
be
is coming.
this will be a pineapple miso. This is actually from a local company. They also make hot sauces, and this is a company called Empress Hot Sauce, and this is a pretty good one. Yeah, it's a
Okay.
pineapple. That is the pineapple miso. Yeah,
Miso.
pretty good. Yeah.
Also, one thing I noticed, like the name Gioia, also somehow weirdly rhymes with Jayo. If you think
The
about it,
Indian word?
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah, the Mandarin word. Because I thought when you said Gioia, it's like slightly a mix of Italian and Mandarin.
Okay, Jayo, why not?
Yeah,
Jayo.
it's slightly close, isn't it?
It is. Now that you make me think about it, and it's
Yeah.
also very nice.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's good.
Thanks.
I love it.
I
Now you
like
have
the
another
lead.
layer. Yeah, yeah, beautiful.
It's a perfect fusion, isn't it?
I think so. I think life is all about fusion, right? Because for us, we started like in Danshui like 15 years ago. Really traditional Mexican place. Didn't look like this. It looked like a hole in the wall, like orange walls, and like the sombreros hanging everywhere, and the sarapes and all this. They're hanging everywhere. Really Mexican, and was good. But when people come in, the locals, there wasn't really any Mexican food here, so they would come in and they don't know what it is. It was okay. It was not bad. So we grew from Danshui to here. We opened the other one, which is now Divino.
Yeah.
Right. So that was us before. Again, we were kind of in the middle. Really bright. Pretty good place. It went well. Then when we did this one, we wanted to make it a little bit more, still Mexican, but a little bit more Western, so we could add things like wings, right? Because if you're only a Mexican place and you put like wings on your menu, oh, you get blasted on the you're like, oh, this is not Mexican. How come they have wings and sliders and blah blah blah? But we wanted to expand it and just try different things because in Taiwan it seems Western gets a little bit more. It's a little bit more a bigger crowd.
Yeah.
So when you just do Mexican, it's different than Italian because Taiwanese already know what Italian is. They're like, oh, we know Italian with pizzas and pastas and stuff. But Mexican, they don't know what it is. So if we start to add some Western stuff, it helped us a lot. First 10 years of the business was okay, I think, not bad. Kind of like make money, lose money, break even. It was okay. But it didn't seem like a sustainable thing that we want to do. Like we could have sustained it and maybe made no money forever. And I thought, this kind of sucks because, I want to be able to go and see my mom, and not be like, okay, I got to borrow from the bank and close the restaurant when I go, right?
Yeah.
So we added, we made this place a little bit more Western looking, and it's been good. It's been good for us, when we do the wings and the cauliflower. And I was telling you that we are going to add some more. Like, we have a lot of vegan options already. We have these tofu tacos, right? Mm-hmm. And the sauce that we use for the tofu comes from tamales, Mexican sort of this steamed cornbread steamed thing. I mean, it's called tamal. And my grandma used to make this really nice sauce, and then at the end add shredded chicken. Obviously, we don't add chicken. We don't add that part, but we'll put it with tofu. And it's been really good. So our tofu tacos sell really well, and they're vegan. And we also have, we still have all the Mexican stuff, but we added more options. And we just want to open the doors to more people. And I just think good food is good food, whether it's meat or whether it's vegan. I've had some at your place, like that chocolate cake. There's good stuff.
And I love the fact that there is here, that is, you have a wildest range that what I could expect. Because you say, I added the wings, but again, I'm Italian, so I know nothing about the American culture. I don't know what is the wing things.
Okay,
I have no clue. But then I see, there is a cauliflower option.
Yeah.
Like your tofu tamales, I have a friend of mine that whenever she comes visit me, I was like, I stopped there to get their tofu tamales because it's so good, and then I come to your place.
Okay.
Because we live nearby.
That's right. Yes.
So she was on your way home. I'm just getting my tofu stuff, and I come to yours. I said, that's perfect.
Yeah.
You also were telling me you have a lot of selection of local beer that is more brewed beers.
We do. So all of our beer, we got 7 beers on tap, and they're all locally brewed beers from small craft brew companies. We started doing that a while ago, but with this place, we built the bar and we built like a 7-tap system, because one of the things, a little bit selfish, something I miss is, you go in there and you've got some TVs, you can watch a little bit of sports, and you can have your wings, but you can also have your tacos. You can also have your local tap, craft beer on tap. The thing about this place is Tianmu is very family friendly.
It is.
Right? So we designed it so when we come in the door, you've got your bar, then you've got your high tables for when people want to come in and have some beers with their friends. But you also got the low tables, and you have the booths. So we try to, I think similar to you guys, we try to cover as much as possible.
Yeah.
And usually works out very well. Sometimes you get a 1-star review because they're like, it's not like a real Mexican restaurant. You're like, well,
you
guys,
know what?
it's tough. Yeah.
Well, the 1-star story, I think we all share,
Of course, yeah.
And we all understand that to be at service is to please the customer.
Sure.
Also has to compromise, but the compromise is not always mean in a business term, like, you can get your wings in term because I make more money.
Yeah.
Or just like, hey, buddy, we are in Taiwan, and we want to have more things that we miss.
I want it. Yeah, I miss this. Yeah.
I'm doing a Sunday brunch, and I'm Italian.
Yes.
Why? Of course, we don't call it brunch, but of course we have a Sunday family dinner.
I love it.
A family lunch, sorry. And of course it's once a month. That's what people always say, why you always only do once a month? And I say, because in my family, that's what we used to. We didn't have the luxury of going every Sunday.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, of course. You want to go out. You want to have the family. It's a special, like my family too. In Taiwan, there's a lot of eating out every meal, right? Like every meal. But in Canada or in Mexico, everybody eats at home.
Yeah.
You go out, for your a couple times a month maybe, or even once a month for the family brunch, and it's it's great, but it's an occasion. It's not like here where it's like every single meal you can eat out. Yeah,
exactly.
It's a different thing. Yeah.
So that's why we keep it once a month, and we keep it 10 seat usually.
Beautiful.
That's why a lot of people say, once you post it, it's already sold out. And I say, yes, buddy, because I have friends and I have customers that became friends that they're stopping here every week, every day, and they say, if they're free, they say, Sonia, what is the date? If it's the date, they are free, they are in. It's funny because this month's brunch, actually, we were full house as usual.
Okay, great,
luckily.
fantastic.
And I had this old American gentleman over 80s that it was stopping by and it was like, I'm gonna have my brunch here. And I was like, sir, I have no table.
There's no more tables.
I mean,
yeah.
you've been to Gioia. We just have 16 seats. And and the buffet for the brunch is pretty big. I cooked for 3 days for that.
Beautiful. All right. We're coming to the next one. Yeah, let me know. I'm in.
Definitely.
I love it. Yeah.
And so I was like, sir, I have no table. Can you see? And I was like, he was very sure. He was like, I'm going to have my
I'm doing it.
brunch here. So he made me move the buffet from the table to my tea table in order to get him a seat. And then all my other guests that were waiting, and they were like, what is going on? And say, buddy, it's Sunday, it's family. You always have the stubborn uncle coming in and ruin your plan.
Yeah.
So the gentleman of that Sunday immediately became friends with all the other people that they were booked.
Okay.
And there were people like, at a certain time, always asking, sir, would you like something more? Could we fill your dish? You would like another glass of wine?
Okay.
And they were my guests.
Okay. Wow.
And that's what I love about it.
It's good
you know?
because you turn a situation that's like kind of a not a great one, and then it becomes fantastic.
But we all have that uncle. Come on.
Oh, we do. Yeah, we do. You know, the last time I went to Mexico, actually was before we opened this branch, and we showed up. We were looking at some equipment. We stayed at one of my family's house and like, we're going to have the big family barbecue because you haven't been here for like 15 years. I said, okay, let's do the family barbecue. I invited everybody. And then it's maybe similar with Italians, but Mexicans, big family. And there's always this cousin that doesn't like this cousin. They didn't want to talk. Oh, I didn't talk to that guy for 10 years. If he doesn't come, I'm not going to go. If he comes, I'm not going. And I tell him, I haven't come back to Mexico for 15 years. Because I went to Taiwan, and then my parents are in Canada, so you know Mexico gets demoted because I want to see my mom, right? I love Mexico, but I love my mom more, right? So I want to go see my mom who's in Canada. And they're like, "Wow, this guy's coming. I'm not coming." And I'm like, "I can't believe it. That is the same still now as when I was a kid. You know, people just like something small, like he didn't pay for beer or something 10 years ago, or something ridiculous, right?" It's crazy.
But it's so comforting, right?
Yeah, it's funny.
Things stay the same and they are also so universal.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Because whenever I share like some of these things, like family stories, it doesn't matter where my guests come from. They always have similar stories.
Okay, that's funny.
So that's the beautiful thing that we might go... I mean, I discovered how to be Italian here is exotic.
Yeah.
While for me, eating Chinese food in Roma, it was very exotic.
Sure.
We didn't have a Japanese restaurant that time, too expensive. Japanese didn't eat.
Gotcha.
So it was like, oh, where we go? I remember like being a teenager, and when somebody like friends want to organize some fancy place, they were like, oh, let's go to Chinese. And I was like, wow.
Yeah, that's wow. Yeah, it's exotic. Yeah.
And here everybody's asking me how you feel to be exotic. And somehow in my brain, exotic was something associated to the East.
Okay, yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not exotic, I'm Italian. I'm not East. So what do you mean, buddy?
It's funny.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's funny because you come to the East and then you're exotic, right?
And you're an exotic one.
You're the exotic
but
one,
again, we share...
Take it easy, man.
We share the same story. That's what I love about... You were saying before about the private event, about... I was talking about the brunch. Last Friday, we organized... fundraising for a Haiti gardening project.
Oh, beautiful.
And it was a beautiful event, and it was fun because the Haiti representative here, he was planning about how it was fun to meet in Taipei a lady from Seattle that she did her studying in Haiti, and she was now funding the program here.
Beautiful. Wow.
And I was like, man, we are all connecting. And this guy was keeping telling to all the audience all night. It was like, look, we are all connected.
Yeah. I also think that when you travel, right? When you're traveling and like, let's say you're Italian and I'm, Mexican, but Canadian. And then we have lots of American customers and customers from all over. When we all come here, we're all just white Warren, right? We're all kind of connected, and then you connect with the local people, and it seems like we're all kind of miss the same thing, and we're all it's the same. We're similar. We're all the same, different background, but we're all in the same boat, and we miss what we miss, and it's really cool.
I love. Sometimes I have in these weird hours, like
Yeah.
when you're not expecting anybody
Yeah.
and you are empty. And
Yeah.
I usually have a teenager or somebody in the 20s bringing the ama or the ai
Okay.
with them, and they say, you sit over here nicely, and then they ordered like an espresso for them and a cake.
Okay.
And I go with all my porcelain and my china
Beautiful.
and tell the stories like, this is
That's
my
beautiful.
grandma, this is like my husband auntie.
I love
and
that.
we talk about a single dish for, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes. You
Wow.
know me, I'm very talkative.
That's great. No, that's fantastic. Yeah.
And I see all those old lady treat with the same respect I would give to my mother, to my grandma.
Sure, of
And
course,
I
of
feel
course.
so honored that I got these kids spending what is a huge budget, because I realized that spending 300 NT, you can have a whole meal here.
Yeah.
And in my place, I mean, it's all imported.
Yeah, of course.
And COVID gave us
And
really
handmade
hard
and COVID.
time.
Yeah, of course.
And I work with only Italian fresh cheeses when it comes for the tiramisu.
Yeah, high
and now
cost,
the
very high
shipment
cost,
is getting
very high
very
cost.
hard.
I know.
So all these kind of things, but of course, at the end, it's the customer who has to face reality. So I appreciate the effort they're doing to like treat the oldest, but I also feel like, again, honored because they think they are delivering a nice experience.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's nice when people come and they're celebrating a birthday, or they want to treat their family to an exotic meal. They go to your place, or they come here, or they go to Fumo, or they go to Divino, and like, this is the special occasion. This is something different.
Yeah.
And you bring the family, and sometimes people even dress up, and you're like, I'm almost like nervous, like, oh my gosh, you're dressing up. It's kind of, wow.
I mean, man,
It's an honor for sure.
It's
Yeah.
an honor and it's a privilege because,
Yeah.
again, I've been hospitality for so many years,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been training so many students in hospitality.
Yeah.
And I always like to say it's a privilege to serve.
Yeah, I agree.
And there is a very mere difference. I mean, I love the job that all the food delivery they are doing. And I ordered, like yesterday, man, it was so raining. I was
Oh,
like
yeah,
raining
yeah, the rain
nonstop.
is-
And I was
yeah.
like, it was my day off. It was in my pages. And I was like, I'm here. Okay.
Yes.
I was like the typical old Italian woman with 3 cats on my belly. And I was like, what is on Netflix?
Okay.
So
good,
I ordered
good,
my
good.
food, and I'm always very thankful because all the riders, they are, no matter the rain and whatever, they are
gosh,
out
yeah,
there.
yeah, for sure.
And I appreciate every single time that they say, enjoy your day, enjoy your meal, enjoy your food. Because they do not belong to any brand, they do not belong to any, especially food deliveries. Just people take all the rain and the credit
Yeah.
for us to sweep on our phone and feel like, hey, I want to
Yeah.
be in my pages.
Exactly. It's crazy. I mean, I got a piece of that when we did the level 3, right? Because for us, we have quite a few staff, and they depend on their salary, and
I
they
remember
depend
you did
on
one
us.
video, like, man, it's so raining
Crazy.
today. It was
Yeah.
crazy.
I drove some tamales to Nehu in the rain.
Yeah.
Because you contact the drivers, Lala Move or whoever, and I mean, it's raining so hard, there's not enough drivers for all the delivery. And so, I had everything ready, and I see the bag, in the little warmer bag there, sitting there on the bar, looking at it, thinking, okay. And I think, well, what time is this food supposed to be there? And they said, should arrive around 6. And I said, it's almost 6 right now. And I said, where's the driver? They said, oh, can't find a driver. I said, so what's the plan? And they're like, everybody's like, no plan. You're the boss. What's the plan? I said, okay. See you later. Okay. Thank you. I said, what's the plan? They're like, there's no plan. I said, okay. Give it to me. I'm going. And it was like, what? You're going to go? I said, yeah, I'm going to go. I'm going to put on that big Taiwanese rain jacket. It's giant. I had to buy this giant one. And then, we had these backpacks with the Eddy's Cantina logo on it. Okay. Let's go. So we went. I drove out to Nehu, and I got there, and when I delivered to the person, they're just like,
You're the guy.
you're delivering. I said, hey, we couldn't find someone, so I'm here. Here's your food. And they're just like, whoa, let me tip you. I was like, no need for tip. Just keep ordering because it helps us when we're
helps us the
through
business.
level 3 is rough. It was pretty rough for us, and I kept all my staff. We had meetings every week with my staff. How you guys doing? And actually, for them, they're like, great.
But
It's
you
normal.
were so important to us. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
talking about me and my husband. I remember those days because, as you say, we are illiterate here.
Yeah.
So all the announcements they were all in Chinese,
Yeah, sure,
and there was
sure.
like, speak about it, how it's not a news.
Yeah.
And you were doing on Facebook like
a
every
little
single
video,
day,
right?
like a little
Yeah,
video, like
yeah.
explaining to us.
Yeah.
And I remember how much you helped us even when we opened. I was like,
Of
Eddie, what
course.
we should do this week because we
Yeah.
were so afraid, like mask on, mask off, temperature, this, that. It
Yeah.
was like we were afraid to be a mistake, and you were so nice
Yeah,
with
it's my
us.
pleasure. Well, thank you for that. Yes, we'll fill you
No,
up here in a
grazie,
sec.
grazie
Grazie,
mille.
grazie. Yeah. It's very important for me. I think that Tianmu is a really great place, and it's a really good community. I mean, the guys next door moved in, and the food they're doing well, and Divino's doing well, and I think it looks like everybody's doing pretty good. And I think if we all kind of are connected and we help each other, I think it's great. Enrico from Divino,
Yeah.
a while ago, he told me we should create like a little map of Tianmu, and then everywhere has their little stamp, and you go and you get your get your stamp everywhere. We have to do that. I just forget because I have so many
you are
things.
too busy.
I
You
just
are
forget.
busy.
But we're gonna do it.
You're busy and I'm lazy, so don't look at me.
Just so we'll do it. We'll get the Fumo guys. We talk to them, and I love the Fumo guys
I
because
love the food.
they're very Italian, right?
Yeah, and
so when they're mad, it's like they're screaming, and I'm like, oh, I love it.
And I'm
It's
so
the
scared
best.
because my husband decided to hang his painting over there, and
Okay,
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah,
hey, the man is very passionate.
Yeah,
Are you
I love
sure?
it. I love it. The conversations that we have are man.
And you are hosting also.
great.
You've been hosting like the flea market with a lot of.
That's right. Yeah,
ladies
yeah.
over here.
So a lot of the ladies would come in to eat, and they were telling me that they would go kind of rent this space and that space and blah blah blah. And I said, if you want, just do it here.
Yeah, I
And
remember
they said,
it was
okay,
so nice
we
of
can
you.
give you like.
And you were so sleepy. I remember the
percentage-
first
yeah.
time. It was like you were opening in the
like,
morning.
what's going on? Yeah, they're saying we can do percentage. I said no, you do it for free. You can do it every week if you want. And so they were doing it once a month, and then they stopped for a bit. Then they started again. I think it was the first Friday of the month. So it's been good. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
So,
you've been such an
it's my-
inspiration for us.
It's just a play. I think if everybody, I don't know. I just think if everybody helps everybody, then we have a good time. As everything is good.
It's more than what you think. It's what actually you did. I remember you walking through our
Yeah.
door and say, "Hi guys, how
Yeah.
is business? How can I help?"
Yeah.
And you know me, I'm zero high tech, and I was like, "What is doing with the Facebook or Instagram or
Yeah.
I don't know how to do the menu and anything." And you were so supportive,
Well,
and
thank
you
you.
were introducing us.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
No, it's really meant for us.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. But I have to say, your Facebook is looking great. Actually, let's pull up the Facebook page. Yeah, let's pull. The Facebook page is looking great. You guys are doing so well.
Well, I
they-
have to give credit to.
It's great.
Those are the liquor
Let's talk a
selection.
little bit about that. Yeah.
The funny thing is because Italian they have this all long digestive culture that when the
Okay.
meal is over we don't call liquor because liquor is like meaning bad. It's
Like the
oh,
limoncello type,
yeah, the
type stuff.
limoncello,
Okay.
but also we have like
There's more?
some herbs,
Okay.
liquor that some licorice one, some coffee one, and they are all alcohol based.
Okay.
But the thing is that they come from different regions of Italy,
And it's for digesting?
It's all for
Okay.
only for digestion.
Only for
Because-
digesting,
of course,
right?
not for enjoying.
Of course. Yeah. Okay. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the events you've been doing.
Yeah.
There's a Sunday brunch,
Yeah, this is
right?
the Sunday brunch
And
we've
you said
been
it's
talking.
almost sold out, or it is sold out.
April we haven't announced yet.
Okay,
Much was
okay.
overbooked, as I told you about
Amazing.
the gentleman
Fantastic,
who work at the
fantastic,
door.
yeah.
And all the previous edition were sold out as well.
Yeah.
And yes, the other event it was like
Yeah.
when it was really coming to. I told you like 70% of my customer they are teacher from TAS.
Beautiful. Yeah.
And,
Yeah, dude, great. It's a great customer
they-
base. Great people.
Lovely
They want to come and
people.
have a good time. Yeah.
And they are really looking forward like to understand more about Taiwan, but in
Yeah.
their affordable basis because they speak no
Sure,
Chinese.
of course.
And
yeah.
like their lifestyle, I mean TAS or like school, you have kids, they
Yeah.
are really a rigid schedule. So
Yeah.
it's not like, oh, go and explore and go and whatever. And so it was fun because like those 3 teachers, they came to me and it was like, Sonia, what is so Taiwanese? And I was like, mahjong.
Yeah, mahjong, yeah.
And it was, what is so Italian? Mangiare. Mangiare. It means to eat.
Yeah, yeah.
So I said, let's do a mahjong mangiare event.
Yes. And it looks like it was very successful.
It was successful. They did it again last Saturday.
Okay.
And as you said, as all we are connected.
Yes.
They were to
I
Divino.
recognize almost all those people.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
And they were to Divino because they were celebrating a special event for them for lunch.
Okay.
And then they moved to Gioia after
Beautiful,
that. And then they
beautiful.
were going to Fumo or to your place
I love
here
it.
to Eddy.
Have some drinks. I love
and
it.
it was like, that is it. That is
That's
the
it.
spirit, you know.
Yeah.
That's the tour you were talking about.
I love it. You know, I think I recognize probably 90% of the people there
Yeah.
that are customers of ours, and it's beautiful.
Well, here, yeah, you can see the artwork on making
I
my
love
tables.
it. I love
with,
it. Those are the
all
corks, right? The cork tables are amazing.
Yes, and
Yeah.
also true story, all the corks on the table are bottles that we've been drinking.
That you've drank. I was going to say that.
Yeah,
I was going to
everybody's
ask.
asking.
It's
And
like,
that's
yeah,
why
I
I
drank
only
it,
have
I drank
16
it.
seed and I say,
Okay,
look, I
take it
behave,
easy,
I don't
yeah,
overdrink, you know.
Beautiful.
And
Okay.
it took almost 20 years to collect.
Okay, that's amazing.
Yeah, so again, you
Beautiful.
see, this is because I had other customers that they were like, you know what, we are not
Can you fill up the wine?
really drinkers, or we don't really feel like to come for long event.
Yeah.
But we also like feel shame to meeting new people. What we can do.
If people get shy, right? Yeah,
get
yeah.
shy.
Sure.
And I was like, again, I'm zero technology. I was like,
Yeah.
how about board game?
Yeah.
You know? So we just
Yeah.
bring board game. And I also say, because I didn't have this huge collection, I was like, feel free to bring your own.
Yeah.
And it was more an excuse, and it was beautiful. And we did it for 3 times, and we are still looking forward to do
Okay.
it more.
Beautiful. I think one thing that's been amazing, but you guys are doing is creating events like this, like creative events,
Yeah.
like the mahjong mangiare.
Mangiare, yeah.
You're probably the only one in the whole world that did that. That's amazing.
Well,
right?
Italian have zero skill, but a lot of fantasy. And
But
now
It's on the screen actually, one of those nights, right?
Yeah, I mean, but I think I recognize every single person there. But that's exactly it. But for the mahjong, I've been here for a long time, and I don't know how to play mahjong. So who
Just
is the
jump.
person that his? I mean, I would imagine not everybody there knew how to play at the
No,
beginning.
not at all.
right?
But they are so generous, and of course they're Americans, so they are super efficient. They print some cards
Okay.
with description. You have like table card that you can say, oh, what is this symbol? What is that
Okay,
symbol?
okay.
And plus you have, we have 4 tables only at Gioia.
Okay.
So you have like 3 manjo expertise, or like they know that they just go around to the table and help the others. It's
Oh,
like,
wow.
okay, what you're doing.
Okay.
It's like me, I didn't know this way of playing mahjong, and they teach to me. And they were like,
Really?
Sonia, sit in. And I was
Wow.
like, okay,
And
let's
but
do
you
it.
knew how already before.
Yeah,
somewhat.
some way.
Something.
But
Okay.
then they were like, just sit and be here, you know?
Wow. Okay, that's really cool.
So yeah, you stress out the point. What is really our goal? What we would like to be? We love to be creative. We just, again, we want to share the space. We want like going from mahjong mangiare to Sunday brunch to like fundraising, ET events, or like something more classical, having your tea time. I was hosting a book club.
Okay.
They, I'm closed on Monday. They asked me to open on Monday for lunch for these lovely ladies, and I was like, sure. We open.
Okay.
To be really the place to just express your fantasy. And of course, we are just try to make it more Italian. Every time I take a picture of my customer, because they all ask us, right? Before they try the selfies, and then it's like, and we go. I always say, so I do the first shot, and then the second shot I say, make your Italian face.
Okay.
And all the picture they change suddenly.
Oh,
Because
what's
they
the
all
Italian
have the, like,
face?
the Italian
Oh, okay.
face, like,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
expressing with the hands and smile,
Okay.
whatever. And
Oh,
yes,
that's
they
hilarious.
became Italian. I love it.
Oh wow. I think that's great. Like I was saying, let's get the next one. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. What
It's
is
mango. It's a mango.
Oh, the
it's a
mango
mango
one.
Yeah, let's get in on that. Yeah.
Thank
We're talking so much. I forgot about the wings here. Shoot.
Sorry.
Yes. No, it's great. It's great. No, it's a good thing. No, I was going to say with your events, it's good, but also a lot of business owners that I meet, and then I I try to talk to everyone and try to help everybody. But I meet some, sometimes you go in there, you get something and it's very empty, it's slow, it's empty. They just kind of like, And I'm like, what's going on? They're like, oh, it's slow. I'm like, okay, well, so what are you going to do?
But so you did a private event with karaoke and the music. It was amazing.
Yeah. Oh, we've done karaoke stuff here. We actually haven't done one for a while because of the whole COVID thing, right?
You didn't text us. We just saw when it was already gone, and we were like,
well,
what?
We're due to do one. We'll do one in April, and we'll do one in May. And
Okay,
you want to come and sing? Yeah,
definitely, absolutely.
Good. All right. It's great because I always need a host because I'm hosting, right? Which is good, but sometimes nobody wants to just hear me singing, right? I want to get other people.
Make them drink because I have the most dreadful voice in the world.
No,
so
it's going to be good.
It's going to be good. Can feel it right.
It's funny because you get some people in that don't want to sing, and then they come in for an hour. They're having a few drinks, and at the end, they will ask you for some random song, and then because you have your karaoke set, but you also have access to YouTube music, and that has almost everything.
Yeah.
So I remember one of my customers, a Swiss guy, is really quiet, really shy. He had a couple bottles of wine, and he said, can you help me find Alpenrose? And I'm like, can you spell that for me? And he's just like, yeah, and he writes it out. I'm like, what is that? And I'm just like, Alpenrose karaoke. And they had it. I said, oh, great. Okay.
Amazing.
So I put it on, and he sang, and he was just like, sweating like Elvis, like, yeah. And I was like, whoa, it was great. It's so good.
So you see a Swiss guy drinking wine, having karaoke in a Mexican place.
Right? And people will come, and you get Taiwanese will sing their songs, and we get Germans will sing in German, and obviously everyone loves their old 80s music, and you get people singing in Spanish and all these languages. Sometimes you will have like a Filipinos or some Indonesians come in, and they will say, can you find this song? I said, if you write it down, probably.
That's
so,
amazing.
Come and help me. So they find it and like, boom, let's do it. And then the only problem with the karaoke is no one wants to leave and it's midnight. I'm like, I gotta close, guys.
That's the problem with
That's the only
Tianmu
problem.
Timing,
That's the only problem. Yeah.
We are
I gotta
family
close.
neighbor.
We gotta close. Yeah. The staff is like, oh, we're tired. Yeah. That's good. That's very good. Yeah.
There's one comment for you today.
Yes,
Eddy, you rock.
Eddy, you rock. That's Helen. Yeah, that's Helen does. Helen's a painter. You know Helen, probably, right?
Met her here. In your
did you meet her
place.
here? Yeah,
of course.
Helen, thank you, Helen.
Hi.
Appreciate it.
Ciao.
Yeah, ciao, Helen. Yeah, Helen's an awesome part of the community as well, and I think that this community is, I don't know, like for example, the level 3, a lot of the people went out of their way to spend extra here, and they're just like, well, we have to make sure that when it goes back to level 2, there's still an Eddy's Canteen, and I'm like, I appreciate it, because a lot of places didn't make it. A lot of places.
I love, and this is so important to us.
Yeah.
The daily contact with our customer.
Sure,
I love when the customer they come to me and they say, Sonia, I would like to buy the pasta, or can you please recommend me this olive oil? And they say, of course, I can go to Jason, I can go to Takashimaya, I can go to Mitsukoshi. And I mean, except for the wine, we rely on the already imported stuff.
Okay.
And my customer, they comes first because they want to support business, which I love.
This is the best, yeah.
And secondly, because they, for example, when it comes to olive oil, you have a Gioia, the olive oil selection is always free for taste.
Okay, well, I
you
didn't
can
know that.
understand
Amazing.
which olive oil is fit for your cooking style or for your dieting needs or simply for your preferences.
Okay.
And it's not a matter of price. So you have some bottle of olive oil that you can find at the Mandarin Oriental Bangkok or Michelin restaurant. And then there are some daily olive oil that you can find again in any supermarket. Okay. And sometimes it's not a matter of price because you are using differently. So my customer expecting like, oh, should I buy the most expensive one? Yeah. And they ended up maybe with the cheapest one, but very happy.
Okay, but very happy because nice taste. Okay.
And they know how to use it. And then I love when like a month later they come back and say, finish it. I need a refill.
Another one. Okay.
Get me another
Beautiful.
one.
And they're very happy. I love that.
And this is very important for all of us because especially to be like in the modern world where it's all about department store and big brands.
Yes. It's
loyalty
tough.
is, we are loyal to our community, but also we choose to be a part of the community.
Yeah, for sure. We tried to go extra to do more for the community. Yeah.
I mean, like you and your family in your free time come to stay in
course,
our
it's
place.
fantastic.
We come
I love
here.
It. I love it. Yeah.
Like 2 weeks ago, we went to the Fumo guys.
Yeah,
and
beautiful. I love it
we all
there.
tried to support the Rigos and other places.
I think for my my anniversary, we went to Fumo, and then for my wife's birthday, and then for the anniversary, we went to Divino, and it's just like we're trying to we try to spend where the places we know the people are good people, and it's good. It's good.
We sell those Italian cold cuts, like for example salami or hams. But you see, we make no bread. So my husband always say, "Go to Cedric. Just cross the street. You go to Lutezia. You get
Grab
the
a bread.
baguette, and you get the salami here."
Beautiful. Yeah, I love that. I love it. Cedric's a great guy.
Great part of the
Fantastic
community.
Fantastic guy. Yeah.
But how hard it is to like get all the authentic material to Taiwan?
It's getting harder and harder.
It was easier before.
It was much easier, I have to be honest. Well, I don't have that long history as long as Ed knows. Me, it's just like the last 10 years. And for example, when it comes to the Italian wines,
that's tough.
It's tough. And but more than the FDA and the import duty approval, it's like the shipping costs. It just were like
up, right?
Crazy high. I got my Prosecco December. 29 on December, supposed to arrive in October, and it cost me 5 times more than the original quotation.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah.
To choose to import your stuff, it's hard. And big importers, when it comes to Italians, it's hard. Like Italian cold cuts, they've been declaring illegal in Taiwan since last month.
Okay.
Do 1 case of swine flu, so there is always this up and down. And like, of course, I'm a grocery store, so the Parma truffle ham, it was my best sellers. I used to sell like 50 kg a month. And then day to night, on Sunday was legal, on Monday morning it was not.
That's crazy, yeah. I remember you guys used to bring in this like spritzy.
Yeah,
that
spritzoso.
Was one of the best things I've ever drank. I love it so much.
One pallet, so 600 bottles sold out in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
We didn't get the approval the second time.
So they just said, new rules, you're not allowed to do it. Oh.
Well, let's say...
Something like that.
Something happened.
Something like that. Okay.
It was raining a lot.
Yeah, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, no, it's tough because the first time I tried that, like I don't drink that much wine, but when I had that is fantastic. I really enjoyed it.
It's
I really enjoyed it.
Super easy to drink. But now the Prosecco is beautiful. Well, according to a lot of fancy wine, of course. If you want to go fancy, you come to my place.
Okay, yeah.
Because I'm a fancy lady.
Fancy lady.
Yeah, I appreciate a fancy glass of wine.
We'll come in for a fancy wine sometime, yeah. And it's very close to where I live. It's funny because my restaurant is very close to where you live.
And
your restaurant is very close to where I live. Yeah.
So we say bye, and the way home we're always exhausted when we wave each other. Like
exactly, we're just like, oh, yeah, exactly.
Going
That's
back.
funny. So you've been in the service business for 17 years, very long time in Asia. So from doing that to having your own business, what has been different for you?
Freedom.
Freedom, okay.
Because again, I always imagine a place where people can do their own events and they can make things happen. And me, I was just saying, like, there is the artist who creates something, but when it comes to the big art, you always have people like finish the little detail that nobody even mentioned their name, And I always think that Gioia was that kind of place where, we can polish it up, we can make it work, we can do it nice. Especially because, man, hosting a thing in your house is a full-time job. So it's like we are hold on our schedule and we have a lot of things to do. That to have a place ready to go exactly how you want, it's beautiful. So we always imagine to do that. And that's how to own our own business is. It's like we are giving the chance to hosting those amazing events and having every month we just having more coming ups. And we are just there like to say, we can do this and that. And I had a lady that she had her private event at Gioia, and she was doing her speech, and I was honestly not paying any careful attention. And she was like, and I want to thank Sonia because she comforted me while I was panicking out every time through a message or through a phone
Yeah.
call and say, don't worry, we are handling. And now I'm here tonight and everybody say, thanks, this is amazing.
Okay.
And they thank me.
That's great.
And
yeah.
I was like, yeah, because our job is
That's
like,
our job. Yeah.
it's
Sure,
not to be
sure.
recognized. It's
Yeah.
our goal when people feel credit about the event,
Yeah.
feeling credit about what they're doing.
Yeah.
Where they are like, Mahjong mangiare is crazy. Why is that? I'm Italian. I'm
It's
living
beautiful.
here.
I
I
love
just
that.
want to do that, you know.
I love that. Yeah.
So,
And it's nice that you don't have to ask somebody for an approval. Like, if there was some super traditional Italian owner or investor, you had to ask, and he's like, no, you can't do that. No, you can do whatever you want. You want to do a karaoke night? You do it.
you know,
Yeah. You want to show sports? You show it.
latest year
Yeah,
of my
I love
career
it.
before I retired, I was on 285 traveling days agenda.
Oh, wow.
Between 13 countries, and I remember getting tired to doing like 8-9 meetings a day every day, 5 days, and then fly to another country and go. But the target, it was like, I was like a reset program. It was like, we are teaching this and that. Those are the skills, those are the targets, this is what you need to do. And I was very good in that, but it was like, I always felt there is something more.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I remember every time I was going to meeting, not in a big Michelin or 5-star hotel or restaurant, but
Yeah.
like to down to earth own business that I can get the luxury to get, I don't know, this owner of this Italian restaurant somewhere in Indonesia or somewhere in Japan or Korea or Thailand, that it was like, man, I'm struggling here too. Because Italian wine is so complicated, and I was like, yes, we got 120 different kinds of grape varietals.
That's, yeah.
And it was like, or like in India, we have 500% import duty on alcohol tax, and I need to get my license.
In India.
Yeah, in
Really?
certain part.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
up to that. Or in Singapore, they were like, oh, they don't come to my restaurant if I don't refer to that bank for the discount because they're collecting points.
Oh, wow.
So I was collecting so many stories of down-to-earth
Wow.
people that they were like, give me the tools to figure it out, this puzzle.
Okay.
And I did.
You're the connector, right?
Yeah.
That's what we do. We're just connecting.
We just connect the
connecting.
dots.
Yeah.
And sometimes it can come through knowledge. Again, training your staff or...
Sure. Yeah.
We bring here the Gambero Rosso show for 4 years. They
Okay.
ask us to come back again this year.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we declined because we don't think that we are going to drop anytime soon on the quarantine things. We are not ready there.
Quarantine
yet.
is tough. Yeah.
And you know, when you're doing a road show all around the world, 47 countries, you can't do quarantine time. But hopefully
Yeah.
next
of course.
year.
Yeah. Hopefully, I hope by the end of the year things are kind of back to normal. I was going to go home this summer. I haven't been home for 5 years
longer
because
than
we
me.
got the vaccines and stuff. So yeah, we got that, but my daughter doesn't. And then I know most of the people that everyone goes back, everyone gets COVID, whatever. That's
Yeah.
fine, but everyone's vaccinated, so it doesn't really matter. I don't know that I'm not a scientist, right? So it's not a big deal, but I don't want to be like, okay, I'm vaccinated, my wife's vaccinated, but my little girl is not, and then she gets it, and it's like, what are we doing here? So
Yeah.
it's like, let's just wait a little bit, see what happens. Yeah, so it's a tough thing. I went first because my wife's kind of like, should we do it? I'm like, I'll go first. I'll take it.
So you are
We'll
the
see what
man of
happens.
the house.
I'm the guinea pig.
I don't
But
know.
I prefer man of the house. I'll take man. I
Yeah,
take man
that's
of the
not
house
the
over
other
the
term.
guinea pig. Yeah. We got another one. Sorry, I'm late. Traffic, no problem, man. We're just chatting here
Yeah,
with
still
Sonia
good.
from Gioia.
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 I love the fact that
You
you,
have to
use
say
your hand
Gioia.
with the
Gioia. You gotta say
Gioia.
it. Sorry, I'm late. What's the name of the restaurant? The name of the restaurant is Gioia.
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 Yeah.
And it's in Tianmu. It's amazing. In the description below, there is a link. You can check out. They've got some great events. I did not know about the Sunday brunches, though, because I love brunch. And my favorite brunches are the ones that I'm not cooking. So I guarantee you we're going to be there. And it's so close to us. We can just roll over in pajamas and
Exactly.
eat and then roll back home. Yeah.
Please
And then-
let me know when you go there.
Okay, let's do
Yeah,
it.
let's
all
do it.
right.
Makes us two of us.
Let's do a
Yeah.
brunch. Okay.
Let's
okay.
do the brunch.
That sounds good. I love it.
what
yeah.
is next?
So the next one is chipotle. Yeah.
Okay,
Chipotle.
explain to me, what
so
is chipotle?
Chipotle is is a smoked jalapeno.
Okay.
It's kind of smoked and it's cooked in a special sauce. So this one is chipotle and it's a little bit of honey. It's a little bit of, mostly those are the two things, a little bit of seasoning. So I think we're trying to keep it mildish, right? Because usually the last couple they're pretty rough. But
Thank you. I really
yeah,
appreciate
no,
it.
we love you guys. No, for sure. So we've got the chipotle here.
I'm licking my fingers.
Yeah, please. Thank you. Yeah.
The last one that I tried when I was doing it,
Yeah.
I just took one bite, all right?
The last one's rough.
And one bite was enough to tear me up, sweat me up, and stop me from speaking.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's usually like that. That's part of it.
Well, allowed me to be very ladylike. Like I will skip the last.
Oh yeah,
one.
so these
I'm already doing.
like
a
I said,
little
these
bit
ones
bites.
are all like mild. We don't have to do that. It's fine. Because this one is also just a cayenne one.
Okay.
But usually the last one is made with Carolina Reaper, which is like crazy. But yeah, I know that.
But I love the
Yeah,
fact of
yeah.
my tasting that not only the sauce, but also the consistency of each cauliflower was different.
Thank you. Yeah.
So it didn't feel like I am having the same ingredient just with a different dressing.
Yeah.
It was feeling like I'm having a different dish.
Well, the sauces are so different that they give it like this one is really creamy, right?
Yeah.
Like they all give it a very different flavor. And the cauliflower, you can get it like naked without any sauce with a little salt and pepper, and it's really crunchy, really nice.
Yeah.
Or you can throw the sauces on, and it's almost like a bread that it tastes very, very different, right?
Yeah, I love the texture and it was
Thanks,
different
awesome.
in all the 4 bites. I'm gonna skip the fifth.
It's okay,
one. You
no
already
problem,
scared me now.
no problem. It's even better if you don't talk for 20 minutes between each one. If you eat them quick and
Are
they're
you
hot and
seriously
crunchy.
asking Italian to not speak for 20
No, I'm
minutes?
saying no.
It's
It's
not gonna
great. It's great.
happen.
I'm just saying, if you come and you order and you get them, they're even better. You just bang. They're so good. Yeah.
Okay,
So-
I will invite my American
Yeah,
friend to
for
try
sure,
to
for
do
sure.
so.
You know what you can do is like I said on a Wednesday, we started doing the podcast on a Wednesday, but then Wednesday became so busy that we're like losing seats doing the podcast. So I said, okay, we can move it to a Tuesday.
So can you please remind me again what is the deal on Wednesday?
Half price.
Oh, that's great.
Half price
On
for the
everything?
cauliflower
Okay.
and the chicken and the cauliflower.
Okay.
So all the wings, all the cauliflower wings, both half price. And then there's pitchers of beer as well.
Do we start at what time? Until what time?
Anytime, all day.
Okay, all
so
day long.
usually evening as people come in, they get their wings. It's cool to see, kind of meat eaters. They got their chicken wings, and then the vegans, they got their vegetarian wings, vegan wings, and everybody's just chatting, having a good time. So that's one of the best things. I mean, the feeling when you're tired, you're doing your thing, you put your stuff out. When someone gets the food and they're kind of like nodding, like talking, they're like, "Ooh."
Yeah, and then
You're
you
like,
get
yeah,
that sense
you
of
get
pride.
that one-
It was me.
You're like,
Yes,
"Hey," you get
it
that
was
warm
me.
feeling. It's
I
good.
did it.
It's warm feeling. It's good.
And when he's bad, he's like my husband.
What
I
was that
always
guy? It's
point
like,
my husband.
let me
It's
talk
like,
to the kitchen. I
sorry.
don't know what happened. Yeah. No, it's tough. Like I said, it's a tough business. We also deal with, you have good reviews, mostly good reviews, but also you get some bad ones. I remember I can go through lots of stories, but there's no point. Yeah, there's a lot of bad reviews out there, but it is what it is. Yeah.
But
Sometimes if I go to a place and I have a bad experience, I'm not going to go and give them a 1-star review. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
I mean, God,
Yeah.
man, you have to understand that.
Yeah. It's a service, right?
Whenever you give a 1 star, it's more about yourself than the business that you're
For
running.
sure. I agree.
Because if you are serious, like you're setting up standard, and I used to do, everybody knows that me and my husband, we did give the awards for the Gambero Rosso, so the Italian Michelin Guide, to the old Italian restaurants in Taiwan
Okay.
for 4 consecutive years.
Amazing.
It's nothing personal. They're standards. They're like a checkbox.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
And you get it or you don't get it. So I remember every year that the award
Yeah.
went out, people asking us why didn't get a review or why he got a review and whatever, and then you try to explain your method.
Yeah.
But of course, when it goes to awards, you only see who get it,
Who
not
get it? Who didn't get it? Yeah, of course.
So
Yeah.
the 1-star point for me when it goes to the media has nothing to do with experience.
Yeah.
Because I had very bad experience, and I felt like, I should tasting people, when you got the feeling like got be cheated
Yeah.
or something was
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah.
So we all had the kind of unpleasant experience.
Yeah.
But the way of rating 1 star,
Yeah, that's bad. Yeah.
It's not about the place.
Yeah, it's not about the place. It's
You know,
about somebody.
we have the awesome ice cream shop in front of us, Bailey's.
Buyers, yeah,
I
sure,
love
of
their
course,
shop.
fantastic.
I love their ice cream.
Ice cream's
and
incredible. Yep.
It's not Italian, but salty caramel for the American is a
Salty
flavor.
caramel is
I love it.
unbelievable. I love it. Yeah. Delicious.
And they were telling me this story how they get one review, and they let me read the review, and I was like,
It's unbelievable.
you know what? If I were a customer and I was reading this has nothing to do
You
with your
know it's
business.
yeah. It's the truth. Yeah.
So now I am, maybe now I'm not, but I was before this, and before I check it out, I'm very good rating on the review. On
Yeah, of course, yeah,
people were
yeah.
happy, but and am I scared about the bad review? And I'm like, no, I'm receiving that constantly, every single dish, even the coffee.
Yeah.
I always ask me or my husband. We always ask how it is. I got a gentleman who were like having his latte and say it doesn't taste properly, and I was like, what is about? And he was like, I like stronger coffee, and I was like, sorry, we didn't explain well enough that we just have coffee from Rome,
Okay.
that the roasting is different. And then the other thing is we only use vegan milk. We don't use
Yeah.
cow milk,
Cow milk.
which of course it will taste different.
Different tastes.
So did we take it as like the customer was addressing us wrong? We
Yeah.
were like, no, it was a lack of communication between us and the customer. Of course, if the second time same gentleman walk out the door and make
Yeah.
the same comment,
Yeah.
I will rather say maybe a limoncello this time rather than a latte, you know?
It's weird because sometimes you get a really bad review or a big complainer, but then like 2 days later they come back and they got the same thing, and you're like, if you hated it, why are you back here getting the same? It's weird, right? You're like,
But again,
what's going on?
It's not
Yeah.
about it. It's
Yeah.
not about us. It's about
Yeah,
them, and
yeah.
we have to all to realize that we are in a massive time of suffering.
Yeah,
And
okay,
so
okay.
the stress is high, and sometimes, I mean, just typing it down, and you just feel some steam is blowing off, and you are not hurting anybody.
Yeah, exactly.
And also because we are in the cheerful part of society, like we
Yeah.
are in a business, we are
They
happy
wanna-
all the time, we are
Yeah.
on the time, and people do not realize how a bad review or a bad comment
True.
can affect us as much as referring to a friend.
Yeah.
I have so many people that say, Sonia, I didn't know where Gioia is, but all my friends knows. And I'm always like, what kind of friend do you have?
Yeah.
Share Google Map, you know? Google Map
come
and
on,
find
Google Maps.
me.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah. Facebook's even easier. You just pop it in. Everyone has Facebook.
Yeah.
Also, when like with Google reviews, right?
Yeah.
If it's like consistently bad reviews from different people,
That's one
as a
thing.
consumer, that's my litmus test. I'm like, okay, same type of comments, and it's not just 1 or 2 in 50, it's like 10 out of 15.
Yeah,
So that's
that's
when I'm
different.
like, okay, that's a different story. But if I go to a place, be it bar, restaurant,
Yeah.
whatever it is, it's like good. Oh, worst place. Good.
Yeah, exactly.
Best place, and
4,
then worst
5,
place. I'm
4,
like, nah.
5,
You can
1.
see it through. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, come on,
Yeah.
get your act straight.
Which is good that people can see that. They can go through that all because, you know, we work pretty hard to make it good, right? And, you know, sometimes I remember the last UFC we had, it was really busy. And we had one table in the corner, a table for 2. Place was just packed. And this young couple, actually a young Taiwanese couple, they come in and they're like, you know, table for 2. And we're like, it's UFC lunchtime. So it's like everything's backed up for like probably at least 30, 40 minutes, the food. They're like, yeah, no problem. We're like, it's going to be a wait. They're like, okay, cool. So we have one table for 2. Go over there, take their order, right? And then they say after 5 minutes, and you can see them kind of like, so 10 minutes goes by and they're like, you know, ringing the bell. They're like, hey, where's my food? And then I'm in the kitchen looking, I'm like, I told you it's going to be a wait. I mean, like, what's going on here? So like, okay. So, I mean, we try to get the food out as fast as possible. And most of the people are watching the fight. So just like, get their food out as fast as possible. And then just about the food came out, they're like, screw this place, we're leaving. So they left, and then their food's out. They, you know, they didn't pay, they didn't take the food, they left. And then a couple seconds later, it's like, ding, new 1-star review. Ding, new 1-star. So both of them gave us a 1-star. They're like, oh yeah, this place, bad service. And you're like, oh, man. Yeah. So those ones, I think I'm gonna reply, but then I don't reply. It's like, okay, I'm not gonna reply. Crazy, yeah.
Again, when it's something personal, it's like if you got 1 star. In my case, again, for me, it's the point that you are talking more about yourself than me.
Yeah, yeah.
And sorry, buddy, I don't know you that well to know what you are going through this moment.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I just
yeah.
sympathize with you and wish you all the best.
Yeah.
But I also take, like, again, being Italian and only
It's a
using Italian product, I give for granted a lot of things. But most of the times it's like I lack of informing my customer of what it's about.
Okay.
So whenever I got that feedback, I'm so grateful because, again, you were talking about like authenticity and to be local and to be
Yeah.
fusion. How we deliver the experience, but
Yeah.
if we are talking too much, it looks like HBO.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah,
nobody
yeah,
wants
yeah,
to be on in the educational channel, you know. It's like sometimes you speak the dish and the dish is like good to be like, it's too
Yeah.
cold.
Okay,
so
yeah,
just
yeah.
like eat.
Okay, yeah. That's
You
funny.
know,
That's funny. But
so-
that's part of the experience. I would tell you,
Yeah.
my best experience, I think, in a restaurant when I was younger. I've told the story a few times on the podcast, but I was working in the warehouse of a future shop, which is like a 3C, like a Best Buy place. And I was dating this girl, and it was her birthday, and it was payday. I said, all right, where are we going to go? And of course, people say, oh, go to an Italian restaurant. Okay. Can you recommend one? And they recommended, it was kind of like this not great area in town, but an Italian family, they had a house and they converted the downstairs of the house to a restaurant. So I said, okay, we're going to go there. So we went in, just t-shirts, shorts, whatever. We're both just kids, right? And when we went in, it was a formal restaurant. Everybody had like suit and tie, and I had like sandals and like a wife beater on. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I thought, oh my gosh, I didn't know. And so we got to, to the place, and the Italian lady, she's like, yeah, come on in, no problem. She's very sweet, very nice. And I was like, oh, great. I think maybe they're not going to let us in because I don't know. But so we go, very, very small, maybe 8 tables. And, we had our table, the last table. And after all the food comes to all the table, the chef, an older Italian man, comes out. And like it's a very stereotypical guy, the Italian guy with a mustache and the belly and the chef jacket, the white one. He comes out and he sits down at every table and he talks to everybody for maybe 10 minutes. And then I'm thinking, oh, it's going to be embarrassing because he's not going to talk to us, right? And then he gets to our table. He sits down with 2 like broke college kids, right, who's not drinking anything. They just ordered food, no wine, right? And he's like, how do you guys like the food? I said, oh, this is great. And he's like, oh, this is what we do with this and this is what we do with that. And he explains everything. And this comes from there and this comes from there. And the food was amazing and the service was amazing. And I think, wow, this is amazing. At that time, I never knew that I would open a restaurant or have any kind of business. But I always thought if I ever have a place, any kind of business, I want to make people feel like this guy made us feel. So amazing experience. And it was like years ago, maybe 20, 25 years ago.
You delivered, man.
Yeah, well, I
That is
appreciate
the
it. Thank you.
experience.
Well, I'll take that. I take it. I try, The funny thing is a lot of people want to talk. Sometimes when you talk, they're just like, why are you talking to me? Like, okay, no problem.
Well, that
Yeah.
is the problem because
Yeah,
you
yeah.
are.
'Cause you were like, hey, what's
me,
going
I just
on? Yeah.
show up with the Italian
Yeah.
mama.
You're
Now
like,
you
hey,
listen
you
to
listen
me.
when I talk. Yeah.
I also think it's a very cultural thing, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because some cultures are very open to have a conversation, and
Yeah.
even if they're on a date, as you mentioned, or
Yeah.
if it's a corporate meeting, it's okay for like 5 minutes if the conversation shifts. But
Yeah.
with some cultures, like, sorry, I don't know you, so we are not friends. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Why are you talking?
So
to me?
if you're not friends, why do you think you can talk to me and I can talk to you? That's
Yeah.
maybe one of the things I feel like.
But
Yeah.
that's it really of our job. I mean, we always say you never know who's coming from the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is also give you the flexibility.
Yeah.
That I don't know. I was having this very important guest without knowing that it was very important, and I was treating him normally.
Yeah.
And then you would say a story about when you were a teenager, and it was sweet because I have this kid who always come with the family. And he was like, want to ask the girlfriend out for a date, but he could not afford to pay the bill.
Okay.
So he was like, Sonia, can you arrange a special menu? And I said, of course I can arrange a special menu.
Yep.
Share it for two and just say, bring the date in and I will check on the girl, and if everything is okay, I will not tell your mama. So I love
Perfect.
the
I
idea
love
to have it over there.
I
That
love
is
that.
exactly the spirit.
That's
And
beautiful.
yes, sometimes you have customers that don't want to share, and that's fine. And there are sometimes
Yeah.
customers that just need you to be there. I think the challenge that we have with our business, you have to be the
To
sensibility
be very flexible.
and the flexibility
Yeah, right. Yeah.
to be with everybody for every moment, to be there.
Yeah.
And of course, this is not possible. So we expect sometimes the understanding from our clientele that we never 5 stars, but we never 1 star. That sometimes it's like I have customers say, since the Italian cold cuts they were banned in Taiwan, I want my cold cuts. I will go to another place. And I say, sorry, ma'am,
What can
this
we
is
do?
the law.
What can
It's
I do?
What can
Yeah.
I do for
It's
you?
nothing personal.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't
you
even know that I guess they could ban them. I didn't know that they would ban them.
It's
That's
okay. They
crazy.
ban it on and off. They have
Ban it
the
off.
reason. I mean,
That's
it's
crazy.
for the safety of every one
Okay,
of
okay,
us.
okay,
That's
okay.
totally fine.
That's fine. Yeah.
But it's
Wow,
like
it's a surprise. Yeah.
we are all like having your own place. It just make you a follower,
Yeah.
not a ruler. We
Yeah.
are here to dictate zero rule. We
Yes.
are here to just deliver the best experience
Yeah,
possible
I agree.
in our own way. And I
Yeah.
think if you look like I call Tianmu a village.
It's the village. It's the village. The Europeans call it a village, and the Americans call it a bubble. It's just a bubble, you know. You got your movie theater, your Italian places, and your Mexican place for your tacos on your Tuesdays, and then you got your Indian food. You've got all the nice restaurants here. It's like you don't leave, and it's great. But also, sometimes I go like month, 2 months. I never left Tianmu. It's crazy.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm very
Yeah.
demanding when
Yeah,
I go downtown.
It's crazy. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
fun because I explain whenever my father called me, never been in Tianmu. He say, how is up to the village?
Yeah.
I say, no, his village is good. It's
Village
quite
is good.
safe.
It's
Because
safe,
my
yeah.
father lived in a village.
Oh, really? Okay.
20,000 people. So
Okay. Wow. Okay.
since he
okay.
retired, and he was like, oh, so,
good.
and my father, since we opened the shop, he asked about, so how is doing the laundry shop in front of you? And I said, that's good. How about the Iranian guy? And I said, the Iranian guy is good. The French guy. And so he checked on everybody every
Wow,
time he
that's
called.
amazing. I
He
love
got
that.
like a map.
That's beautiful. Wow.
Yeah.
I love that.
And
love it.
I feel this. I mean, you walk to come here.
Yeah, of course.
And I
yeah.
walk to
yeah,
go
exactly.
to Gioia.
Walk all the time.
And we nod at people. We look at everybody's
Yes,
business
yes.
and we are like, hey man,
Hey,
how
how
is
you
doing?
doing? Yeah,
How is going?
Yeah.
It's
And
good
then
business or not bad.
what's nice is when you're busy, well, you step out and you walk and you see all the other people. Everybody's busy, and you're like, all right, this is a great day. Everybody's busy. I love it.
Me,
Yeah.
I can recall several months of time when you were walking tired way home, looking in my place at Gioia and just smiling. Very
Yeah.
tiring smile when you see the place
Yeah,
was
of
full.
course. Yeah.
And just look at me when the place was empty, just like, come on, you can do it.
Yeah.
Without
sure,
saying
of course.
anything because you were
Yeah.
exhausted. You just want to go home. And
Yeah.
that's the support that we all try to
Yeah,
give to each
I
other,
love
you
it.
know?
It's a pleasure to see a place busy. Like I know the Fumo, they opened right before the COVID,
Yeah,
so
they
it
will
was
be
hard for
late.
them.
Yeah.
And then, you go in there and you see they're busy, and then you talk to the owners, and they're just like, yes, today was a good day, and I'm like, great, I'm happy to hear that. It's fantastic. I love it.
But also it's a
Yeah.
pity when we see sometimes for no reason the old street empty. Then
Yeah.
we go and check in the place.
Yeah,
it was
you're
like,
like,
how was your day? I was like, nobody
What
today.
happened?
And
Yeah,
what
yeah.
happened? And nobody know what happened.
Yeah, it's a tough business, man.
And it's funny because clients think that they can comment other places in our place, but they don't realize that we are like a soccer team.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
it's-
Yeah.
I mean, I don't cook. I have zero clue of Mexican food, but even
Yeah,
with the
for
guy
sure,
that
yeah.
we share Italian. They
Yeah.
say, I got this interview when they say, why Tianmu is so full of Italian? And I was like, we
Okay.
were up to 4 Italian owners. And I was like, before, considering the population in Shilin and
Yeah.
Tianmu places, I say we reach like 3% of the coffee shop,
Yeah.
plus 0 of us come from the same region of
Yeah,
Italy,
yeah.
so we displayed 0 of the same food in the same way.
Yeah.
Plus, we all know each other.
Yeah, I think it's the way to do it. Yeah, I think
So-
it's great.
I mean, it's like when they come to me, the guys from Fumo, they sell my limoncello.
Yeah.
And they say, oh, you want the bottle? And say, go to Gioia daytime, you buy the daytime. You know,
Okay.
and when people say, Sonia, I want like to have a fancy dinner, and they say, go to
Yeah, for
Fumo,
sure,
that
of
is the
course.
best Italian steakhouse.
Beautiful.
Again, last Saturday, they were before to Enoteca, Divino, Enrico,
That's
and then
beautiful.
they were there for lunch, beautiful lunch, they all enjoyed. They came to play mahjong at my place.
I love it.
And I was like, so what, man?
That's the best. That's the
That's
way
a
to do
team,
it.
you know?
It's funny because a lot of places they don't think like that, and they will think, oh no, it's a competition. But when there was one point when we had our restaurant here, and then the Starbucks they're closed, and then
Yeah, I
from
remember.
everything was closed there, and then everything's closed there, and just us. And then when the Fumo guys were there, they're renovating. People say, "Oh, what's opening there?" I said, "Oh, Italian place, like fine dining. It's gonna be great." And they're like, "Oh, are you worried?" I said, "I want this street to be all restaurants.
Exactly. We want people to walk
I
our
want
alley
people
all the
here.
time.
I mean, they're not gonna come here every day, but I want people to come up and be like, all right, it's Tianmu. What are we doing? Okay, we're gonna go to the food district. So let's go to this street. This is the food. This is where we eat. Okay, let's go there. What do you want to eat? I don't know. Let's go to Food Street. Yeah, that's what we want. We don't want it to be like trying to cut each other's throat. It's crazy.
I always say, I mean, again, I'm sorry, I have zero fantasy, and I'm Italian, and I've watched soccer all my life. I used to play
sure,
soccer
of
in high
course.
school and
Beautiful.
stuff. So we go for national team. It's
Yeah, of
like
course.
if we are all make it together.
Yeah.
I don't feel special enough, and I don't think anybody is special enough. They'll say, oh, you know what? I'm in I'm going to walk 1 hour or 45 minutes to go to Gioia.
Exactly. I
To
know
just
what you
get
mean.
grab a bottle of wine, then go back to maybe perhaps Neihu to try that place and
Yeah.
go in New Taipei.
Yeah, it's
to
tough.
have that. And
yeah,
I'm saying, like,
yeah. It's tough.
if you're not doing for charity, why that?
Exactly. Like I also know a lot of the Mexican restaurant owners, and yeah, when someone's in certain areas, I say, "Hey, you should go try that place. It's good stuff." And they say, "Why are you sending me to another Mexican restaurant?" I go, "Well, if you're here, come here. My pleasure. If you're down, go down to to Fonda, Mexico. I know the owner there. He's got good food. Try it out. That's good stuff. If you're in Kaohsiung, go see Manny. Go see Mikasita. Try them out, right? I know a lot of the owners, and you're not going to say, "Oh, I'm in Kaohsiung. I like Eddy's. I will never eat anything else." Like, come on, that's crazy.
I like
That's
to
crazy,
think
yeah.
of us that, there is not a diva show, but
Yeah.
we are all somehow unique.
Yeah, of
So I love
course,
when
of
people
course,
that
yeah.
come to my place. Of course, I
Yeah.
love it more if they enjoy my coffee, they enjoy
Yeah,
my
of
wine, they enjoy
course,
things.
of course, yeah.
But I love the fact that they come, they say, "Hey, Sonia, I came to see you,"
Yeah,
and that is like the greatest
that's the
compliment.
best. Yeah.
I mean, you can't say that for me. I can't say that for you.
Yeah, exactly.
When
I
I, come
agree.
here, they say food is great.
Yeah.
I love the cauliflower wings.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
to have my glass of wine, which, by the way, it's not Italian, but it's good.
Okay.
But it was very, very nice. Thanks for offering.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I should have asked you to bring one, and I would have. Yeah.
No, please. I'm Italian 24/7.
No, it's funny because I also think, I mean, you can't go to the same place all the time. You go to visit people, and when I just opened my restaurant, I also, when there was a new Mexican place or a new taco place or new this or that, customers will be like, "Oh, there's a new place. It's pretty good. You got to check it out." So when you're new, I was like 28. I said, "Oh, maybe I got to go check it out." So I'm trying all these places, and first I'm like, all those places are gone already. Okay, so now I'm 43. Now when people tell, "Oh, you got to try this new place," I'm like, it's not to be arrogant, but I'm like, I don't want to go downtown and have tacos. You know what I mean? I eat tacos for like almost every day, and I love them. Yeah, if the place is there in 5 years, maybe I'll check it out. But I also get a lot of compliments from customers because there's a new place downtown called Masa. It's supposed to be very good. And one of my customers went to try it out, and he said, "Hey, yeah, I went to try Masa." I'm like, "Yeah, how was it?" He's like, I mean, it's good, pretty good, but it's only tacos. And I'm like, yeah, but that's what they are. They're just doing tacos, right? I mean, what do you expect? He's like, no, when I go to Mexican, I want to have my craft beer and I want to have my wings and I want to have, and I'm like, well, that's actually not Mexican. That's actually just, that's Eddy's. That's not, you know, like we'll have the tacos and we'll have the wings and we'll have the craft IPAs and we'll have, you know, the sliders or whatever. And he's like, yeah, but I want all that when I go to a Mexican place. I'm like, well, that's a taco shop. This is like what I'm trying to do is trying to cover a lot. So it was a pretty big compliment. I mean, I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, but you see, for us, you always been the place for the community. You've been here like a milestone. Yeah,
Okay.
we were. When we moved to Tianmu like 5 years ago, we were in Taiwan first, and when we moved here, and we were like, you know, say why the subway is so far away and everything was so not convenient.
Yeah.
And it was like, why it looked like a ghost town after certain hour and in certain hours it was like, where's the people,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
It didn't have the rush of downtown.
Yeah, of course.
And we asked, and we were like, what is one place? And they were like, Eddy's there. You go to Tianmu, it was like Eddy's. Then it was like
Letitia for your coffee and your baguettes and your
and it was JB.
quiche.
It was
Yeah.
the JB for the brunch. It was like if you
Yeah,
want a
JB's
you
brunch.
go-
Yeah,
you
of
go
course.
to JB.
Yeah.
And they were naming Boo Boo where I said to see the
Well, the
car,
cars, the
American
half car
star.
thing. Yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
Italian and I never saw that car for real. And I
Yeah,
was like,
it's cool.
Oh, I saw that in many movies.
Yeah, it's very
that's
cool.
what they
It's
are,
very cool.
big.
Yeah.
You didn't park in Rome, though.
That's really cool. That's actually, I have one more question. Speaking of movies, right? Can you put number 10 up there? So growing up, big fan of obviously The Godfather
Of course.
and, you know, Al Pacino and that sort of thing. But I'm curious, as an Italian, was it a popular movie? Was it popular there?
But
Because
this
I don't
one
know.
is Il Laureato. It's not The Godfather. It's
Okay,
one that
okay.
it was graduated. No,
But I mean, the picture was great,
it was
and you
not-
shared it, and I thought it was
yeah,
beautiful.
It was not as famous
okay.
as is in the American thing.
Like, because The Godfather, how is The Godfather? How do people think of The Godfather in Italy?
In at my age, it was your second family. Again,
Okay.
I came from a very Catholic family.
Okay,
So
okay.
like when they named my godfather and godmother, they were like the relatives who have special privilege.
Of course. I mean, Mexican is the same.
I
the
still
same.
have to answer to like
Yeah,
my
of course, like
godmother
madrina,
things that I
right?
don't say to my mother.
Yeah, of course. Yes,
But I
yes,
have
yes,
to
yes.
justify to her.
Yes, yes.
She's very active on Facebook. My mother is not.
I agree. We also have like The Godfathers and stuff.
And
but I mean, like the movie, like the
Yeah.
actual movie, of course, is like legendary,
Legendary, yeah.
in the West.
Yeah.
But what about in Italy? What do they think of like Al Pacino and, you know, The Godfathers and Don Corleone and all of these characters? Is it something or is it not even a
Yeah,
thing?
we were just having
Nothing.
fun, like in the Western movie when you see the Mexican guy that
Yeah.
is always playing the same
Yeah.
part and say
exactly
amen.
same guy
It's
and then
always the same guy.
it's always the Mexicans. They're always not the main guys, and then
And what they always shoot
the main
first.
guy, it's like an Arab guy or
Yeah,
something.
exactly.
Like, what the heck? Yeah.
And the first to die, you know, is the Mexican guy. They
Yeah.
always
Like, this guy's
die
Mexican.
first.
Why is this Spanish guy the main guy, and the Mexicans are the? That's funny. Yeah.
So, but it's nice the pairing because
Yes,
you're
and the
pairing
food
with
looks- I wanted to show
vegan
that.
focaccia. This is
Yes.
my grandma
Oh,
Ernestina
really?
recipe.
Okay.
And actually, my grandma was from Napoli.
Okay.
And you know, during the World War II, there was not much stuff to do.
Okay.
So actually, a lot of the recipe that I recovered from her happen to be vegetarian or vegan or
Awesome.
dairy free because
Awesome.
I mean it was wartime. You didn't have luxury
of course,
of
of
cooking.
course, yeah.
And so this is the one that I showcase is every brunch because it takes
I love
me 2 days and a half to do it.
Okay. Wow.
Actually, I
Gotta check that
I
out.
start the dough, and it take me to work the dough like 6 times, and then I saute the different mushroom in white wine,
love
and
it.
then I have to rest a night, and then you can fill it again,
Amazing.
and then they have to raise all together. So it's a lot of work, but when you taste it, it just feel like. I love because all my customers
That's
that they
amazing.
try, they say like it's
That's
coffee
amazing.
food, and I didn't know what in English mean coffee.
Oh, okay.
And I was
okay.
like, and then a customer came to me and said, Sonia, it's like a pillow. And I said, yeah. Okay,
Amazing.
I got that.
Beautiful.
So that's
Beautiful.
fine.
Awesome. That's cool. Yeah, I've always wanted to ask that question, but It's very cool. I love it. I wanted to pair that. So we'll go through the pictures real quick, and then you can pull up a picture, you tell me about it, and then we're good to go. Yeah?
Mahjong
So
Manjari.
that's the Mahjong Majara we did already.
That's
This
my
one,
husband,
that's your
the
husband,
handsome one with the Roman coffee.
Beautiful Roman coffee. Yeah, I love it. I love the bar there too.
Yeah, we try to. This is the typical showcase of an Italian picture.
Yes,
You can
I know
see
all of
hand
the people
moving.
there. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. I love it.
This is a very fancy picture.
Okay,
You
okay.
can see us all posing well.
I
try to
know, and the
behave.
colors are very cool too.
And we
Yeah.
tried. You remember Halloween? We didn't know
Yeah.
what to do. Is Halloween,
Halloween,
on or is
yeah,
Halloween
I
off?
know,
What do we do
yeah.
Halloween? And we were like,
And
yeah.
people keep asking me. I'm like, for sure, this is going to be
Exactly.
on. Yeah, yeah.
And I'm Italian.
Yes, and
so,
I always think that the romantic part of the Italian culture is amazing. So
yeah.
I thought that
so
these.
of course, yes, it's
Yeah.
focaccia. It's my husband. Behind is a painting. My husband is
That's a
also
beautiful painting, and even when you're saying, okay, like for me, when we're closed, I just get a picture that says, okay, we're closed. But you created this amazing picture. It's romantic. When I see the picture, I think they're closed today. Oh, go out, go have a nice day, go for a walk, do something. It's amazing. Really cool.
When you know us, you know we are what we are.
Yeah,
we are
beautiful.
not a slogan. So we are the funny, crazy.
I think
We
it's
are the
beautiful.
uncle and the Italian uncle and auntie couple. You come to
love it.
us, you know.
I love it. I love it. And the Sunday brunch.
It is the brunch.
That is the brunch, and yeah.
So this is the Roman coffee. We
Roman
are very
coffee.
happy to have
It's
this.
really good. We would come by sometime soon again because I haven't had this.
Awesome. I've
for
been
a while.
speaking with the owner
Beautiful.
this morning, Roman time.
How
and it
how
was
do you
like
pronounce the name?
Buscaglione.
Buscaglione. I love it.
And
That's
they-
a mouthful.
and
Try
actually-
it twice.
All right, I love
And
it.
actually you
Buscaglione.
find in Rome and certain part of Italy, but if you are like Milan, Florence, or Venice,
You don't
they,
find-
they don't
Seriously?
find
They
it.
don't know about
So
the
this is
Buscaglione.
very Roman.
This is that's why they
Very
say
cool.
Roma from 1899 because
Wow,
they are roasted from
1899.
Roman.
That's beautiful. I
So
love it.
and we are both from Roma.
Beautiful. Look at this.
So yes, of course, if
The
you have a
mangiare.
dish of pasta is Italian, so mahjong
Of
became an Italian game.
Of course, I
Mahjong
love it.
mangiare.
Yeah, I love it. I
This
love
is
it.
the
There's
cake
the
we talked
chocolate
about.
cake. That was
Yeah,
fantastic.
That's your
Yeah.
gluten-free cake, sugar-free,
Yeah.
and as Claudio say, guilty-free cake.
Beautiful. You want another?
And
yeah.
we just talked about this.
Beautiful. And
Yeah,
that's,
when we just say that.
that's
So
these guys.
thank
I
you so
love
much
it. Yeah.
for your
Thank
time.
you so much. Do you have anything you want to add before we close it up?
No, this was super techno, and I'm super grateful that
No,
you
my pleasure.
turned it up.
We do it again sometime.
The
Maybe
one
I'll get
that
your
you
husband.
finished,
Yeah.
I'm gonna steal from you because it was actually my favorite.
This one? Yeah,
Yes,
good. I
love
didn't take a bite. Yeah,
Like,
good,
exactly,
good. That's the
because it was for
chipotle.
me.
Yeah, good,
The
good,
chipotle
good.
was my
Chipotle.
absolutely
Okay,
my
awesome.
favorite.
I'll take that.
And
I
thank you
liked
so
it.
much for hosting
My pleasure.
this.
My pleasure.
Grazie
Thank
mille.
you. Grazie.
Grazie.
A ti.
No problem.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Young
And salute.
Rishi. Salute.
Cheers,
Salute.
cheers.
Cheers, cheers, cheers. Thank you guys for watching the show. We appreciate it. If you want to check out this fantastic Italian gourmet restaurant where they've got the vegan stuff, all the good stuff, the Italian wines, the vegan food, the traditional food, the whole atmosphere. Down below, there's a link for the Facebook page in the description. Go check it out. Like the page. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And we'll see you guys next week. All right. Thank you.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye-bye.